Good afternoon, David.
Good afternoon, Naomi. It's great to hear your voice, and thank you, Cowboy, for tracking me down. I'm
My
still
pleasure.
away from Canada right now on holidays, and my wife had to go home, so I'm lonesome now. I hope she's listening, and she had to go back to work, and my granddaughter had to go back to school, so they went and marched and they're back home to Winnipeg. So I'm not going home till next weekend, or this
Nice.
coming weekend around the corner.
Hmm.
So it's my last weekend here, and then stopping in Vegas for a few days for my birthday, and then heading home. So it's
Yes.
kind of my little birthday present, and I want to go out and try my luck. And never know, maybe I'll hit the big one. I actually bought the Mega Million draw out here was $1.35 billion.
Oh, wow.
So I bought some tickets. There was a winner for sure in Maine, and they're saying there's two other winners in California. So
Wow.
I'm in California, which is not far
Oh.
away. I'm 3 hour ride from Winnipeg WestJet, but
Ah.
I'm driving back. It's something I really enjoy doing.
Hmm.
Gives me a lot of sense of peace and quietness when I'm going home next weekend.
Right.
I really enjoy that. You got to watch the storms. There's a lot of rain out here. People see California as a place that sun and like where we are. It rains, but it just spits. Not giant pouring rain.
Right.
When you're watching the news right now in California, you see these massive floods everywhere, which are real. They're not fake.
Right.
They're real floods. But what happens is that the rain has nowhere to go, and so when it hits the mountain,
Yeah.
it just piles up in the mountain and rolls right down
Oh,
into the valleys, and that's where they get all these big, massive floods.
yeah.
Even where we are, there's some streets that are shut down, and yet it only just sprinkled the water, rain. It was very little, because it rolls down from the mountains, it doesn't have nowhere to go. It's all sand, and then it rolls right into the streets and breaks down streets and deep car length deep in water. So we gotta stay, but it's not going to be fearful here where we are. But I know closer to California ocean. There's some the environment is showing you it's real. I know people keep on denying it,
Hmm.
that the environment doesn't need help. Well, these are real factual evidence that we need to pay attention for the next generation and take care of our environment to make sure we're helping in any way we can. So that's why I still say we're getting ready for our tree company, and that we're going to formulate. And I know that in Breezy and Selkirk, the mayor is very happy with that. And so we're getting ready to, and St. Andrews also is going to be very pleased because we're going to put the water line through St. Andrews and from Selkirk
Hmm.
into Breezy. And when you build that greenhouse there, it's, I think, 50,000 square feet. I know Minister Park is all excited because he's from there, and so is Bucky. Bucky is that's his nickname.
Hmm. Yeah.
Alfred is the vice president, and Mona Bures. So
Right.
they're excited because it's going to be built in their region, creating jobs, and at the same time making our mark in how we're going to help fight the environment. So I'm looking forward to that, and we're getting close to our completion in St. Boniface. We have a sixplex there.
Yeah.
That would give us some challenges. We did have a Métis contractor. I can't speak too much about it because in case there's a court case, we did have a Métis contractor, did not fill his obligations, and but on many other reasons, he is what I understand. But the point is, he did not do what he had committed to do,
Hmm.
and so we had to revive and fix it all. But it's going to be ready, I think, this week. So it'll be one apartment's already rented. There's 5 more to go. Beautiful, beautiful, brand new. So anybody in St. Boniface area looking for a place to live, check that out very quickly, and you'll have a chance to have a brand new apartment. We're moving ahead on our homelessness one. It should be, I think it's almost done, construction inside and outside, and that's of course on Main Street, right by where the Manor Hotel was. That's actually where at one time was the manager of the Manor Hotel, and I still remember those good old days when it was family-run bar, and I was
Right.
very, very pleased to see so many of my friends that always come to that particular place, always to come and meet each other, and those were the good old days for me, where I ran the bar like a family, and
Yeah.
it was really well respected bar. Anyways, that's my long history, a long time ago. That's a long time ago. Anyways, going back in my younger days, but I started off young. I was very fortunate to become a manager. I think I was only 21.
Hmm.
Yeah, so, anyways, but at the end of the day, that homelessness initiative is almost done. I think we'll go on for the work there, City of Winnipeg and the federal government in our partnership. And I look forward, and actually had a good meeting with the mayor expressing that, the new mayor, that this facility will be there, and we'll invite him for the ribbon cutting ceremony. And but it's going to be a wraparound service. It's not going to be where you just come to sleep. The goal there is that people that are going to come and live in there will have to have a commitment to making sure that they want to change their lives. Most homeless people, 100% of them probably want to change their lives.
Yeah.
And but at the end of the day, we want to make sure that those that are committed, either to go into, if there's drug issues or alcohol issues, go into some kind of program so we can help with them. And if there's mental or other psychological issues that they need to, or other addictions that they need support on, we're going to have that service there. They want to go back to school, we're going to have service there. They want to find a job, we're going to have people helping them find jobs. So our goal is to stabilize their lives and put them in a perspective of choosing their future. So again, I think we should go on that homelessness initiative and the work they're doing there. So that I'm looking forward to.
Congrats. That's some
Thank you very much.
program.
That should be coming up soon, Naomi, very, very soon. My understanding they've completed the infrastructure already. So, and then speaking of that, we're starting on the Air2 Center, and that some tenders are going out on that. Are also February, I think, is when the basement is going to be starting in Selkirk on a 55-plus apartment.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that, and that's, these guys are so quick. You don't take long when you start seeing a building popping up there, and it's going to be one of the most beautiful buildings in Selkirk, in my view. It's going to really have a Métis artistic design attached to it. So I'm looking forward to that ribbon cutting ceremony within 2024. So that'll be a good one. And people have 55 plus who are listening right now may want to move in there. And you start applying now, start asking, get your name in the application system, and that you want to be a resident there. So we're going to try and take care of our citizens with all other services beyond just the apartment. So again, it's a riverfront view, and it's going to be a state-of-the-art building out in Selkirk. So I'm looking forward to that process. But I got some birthdays. I want to make sure I send them out before I forget.
Okay.
Happy 77th birthday to Germain. We're celebrating his birthday on Thursday.
Ooh.
We just finished. He actually came from, he was in Cuba on his holidays, and he stopped here.
Uh-huh.
He wanted to have some meetings with me, of course, and right away we were talking about where we're going. As I reported on the our news reports here, we had some meetings already with some of the First Nation leadership, the tribal bodies that exist out in Western Canada and in Ontario. Mm-hmm. We're talking about co-sharing natural resources and respecting our Section 35 rights. So we have some good dialogue happening right now with British Columbia. And we had some good responses back from the chiefs of British Columbia to sit down with the Métis of the Red River and really establish the respect of each other's territorial areas, and at the same time co-sharing, coexisting in our areas that we respect each other's territory. So that being said, Clement wanted to follow through with some meetings here. So we started meeting yesterday, and we're meeting again this morning before he heads home. But just to send a message to our Beyond Borders citizens, some living in British Columbia and Alberta, Saskatchewan, that have their citizenship card with our government. Some are asking about their rights to harvest and so forth. So we're meeting with some of the tribes, and because if you look at the tribal councils and so forth, and Union First Nations, British Columbia, you look at their territory. It's their territory, and we need to respect that. Right. So we're going to sit down and create that relationship and hopefully get the concurrence. We're in their territory. Mm-hmm. We don't have rights to claim, no historical right to proof of evidence that we can say this is our land also or our territory, not in British Columbia, but anywhere in the prairies, of course, we can prove without a doubt. Mm-hmm. It's our territory too. So, but again, I still believe in this, and I've met with how many grand chiefs at the AMC, and not one has followed through with the request I've made since I've been president. In 25 years, I've been pushing to have a treaty signed between us. And I know some of my friends that are close to me, some of the chiefs, they like the idea, but for some reason I can't get the AMC itself to respect that segment of it. And some chiefs are directly want to sign it, the treaty with me, but and with the Métis people. It's coexisting because we're going to share the land. We need to preserve the land together. Mm-hmm. We're going to work on the environment together. We're going to do different things together. and supporting each other and how we coexist in that same land. How do we harvest from that same land, whether it's animal or berries or roots or whatever it is? How do we coexist by respecting each other? How do we establish our own laws to make sure that we can coexist by looking towards the future? Because, for example, our harvesting laws project the future. We protect the future. Elders told us that, to save it for the next generation and generation after that. So, our of course, our season of harvest big game ends January 15th, just around the corner. And what's today? January what?
Today is the 14th.
Okay, tomorrow is the last day. Yeah. So it closes, and no more big game could be harvested by the Métis. So, and if you break that law, you will be punished by our Métis government at the same time. So we encourage people to, and which we have no doubt, and if there's be one of the odd situations, but overall our people respect our laws and stand and respect what the elders have put forward for them. So going back to birthdays, happy 76th birthday to Esther Descharnes, celebrating the same day as Clement on Thursday, January 12th.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday going to Jack Park's daughter, Tabitha Park. I have to get my tongue ready for that one. Tabitha Park, who is celebrating her birthday on Thursday, January 19th. And happy birthday to Gentry Park.
Hello? David, are you there?
Oh, no, I think he went to speakerphone.
I think so. David? Okay, well, let's hang up and try calling him back.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'll just, you give him a call.
Yeah.
I will talk about some of the things that we need to talk about while you do that. Yeah. So, let me see. We read those ones this hour. The Manitoba Métis Federation Health and Wellness Department has partnered with the Chalmers Neighborhood Renewal Corporation to offer a grief and loss healing program. It's 8 weekly group sessions that'll be available for Red River Métis citizens to attend, share, and gain unique tools for identifying and resolving loss. So you can contact mental wellness at mmf.mb.ca to register. And join the Risher Métis Local for their first meeting of 2023, January 19th. That's at 6:30 p.m. The Young at Hearts Club at 22 Dawson Road West in Risher. On the agenda will be the Riel Day party for the community. You can bring your renewals and applications for review and signatures. And if you'd like, you can email rishermétis@gmail.com. And the Northwest Métis Council Incorporated is recruiting for our upcoming PAL course. Red River Métis youth ages 12 to 29 are eligible with a valid MMF citizenship card. The course will be held February 4th, at the Métis Community Center. Interested participants can call our office at 204-638-9485 or by emailing Zach at zachary.davyanderson@mmf.mb.ca. All right. So, and any of those announcements that we make can also be found on the MMF website at mmf.mb.ca. So there you go. All right. I think we got the president back. Yeah, we sure did. Okay. Hello, David.
Here to wrap it up as fast as I can. And I was doing a conference call on a meeting yesterday, and I had my earbuds on, and so this phone somehow went back to the earbuds.
Oh.
Anyways, sorry about that. I don't know what last part did you get? Did you hear from me on the report? So I'm testing and I don't know.
We were talking about somebody's birthday. There was Jack Park's daughter and then another.
That report for nothing? Okay, Mark. Holy man.
Oh, I thought you meant where you left off. But okay. Well, we talked about hunting was the last one.
Hunting,
wrapping up.
Mac, that's still a long way. Anyways, let me say again, thank you. You got Marlena Pronto, right? Her birthday on Thursday, January 19th.
Yep.
That's my late brother Albert's granddaughter. And also, I was commenting on and complimenting at the same time the Métis citizens who stood up to be counted and have their cards respected. They're proud to have their Métis citizenship cards and to be treated with discriminatory practice by Manitoba Liquor and Lotteries was an insult to them and to our government. and they wanted answers, and they wanted this thing corrected as soon as possible. So very proud of them. I want to say out loud to each and every one of them that we will be pushing this agenda strongly, and we're not stopping there. We're pushing it on airlines, banks, other places, because we spend a lot of money, a lot of time putting a very secure card in place, very secure. It's got holograms, it's got all kind of protections, it's got barcodes on it, so you can't just copy this thing.
Right.
And but it's very clear that we took a lot of time and effort to make it very secure, so it could be a trusted card. So I want to make sure that institutions out there realize that we're coming, knocking on their doors. Banks areas are, they look at it and they say, okay, I know the banks we deal with, Bank of Montreal, and Royal Bank. Right now, they haven't declined them. If they do, I want to know, because that is a form of identification. And we are a government. We signed a self-government agreement in July last year through 2021, so 2 years ago. Now we signed it, and so it's very clear, that the MMF is the government of the Red River and represents our people no matter where they live, including Saskatchewan, Alberta, British Columbia, United States, or Northwest Territory, or in Toronto. We had a large crowd in Toronto when we were there beyond borders, but they all come from the homeland. And so it's good to recognize that institutions need to take heed with this, and we're having, of course, dialogue with the Government of Canada on making sure that the national institutions like airlines and so forth, if we need their support, they'll be there. I also have a meeting coming up with Immigration Minister, and I'm looking forward to that. We also got a letter that came from Medicinino. He's the minister responsible for the gun laws that are being changed and being contemplated on new legislation.
Yeah.
So I got a letter from him the other day advising that they want to hear our side and our opinions if there's issues of concern. So we're starting a consultation with all our harvesters. We think we've got about 17,000 harvesters cards out there. So you'll be getting emails out there if you're listening right now, and asking for your opinion, your view, and telling us if everything's okay, if you feel that you're concerned about your rifle, if it's unsure of it's going to be included in the banning and banning of so much different firearms, and they're looking more at these, of course, high-powered guns. But I made it very clear if there's any attempt on affecting our harvesters, Liberals will hear loud and clear from us, and I'll send a letter directly to the Minister and the Prime Minister echoing our sentiments of concern. So I'll make it very clear we'll stand hard to protect our harvesters and their rights to harvest. That's something we fought very hard to put in the Constitution of this country, and we're sure they'll never let some other legislation override it. So again, I thank the Minister for his letter. I just got it, so I'll respond back to him. And we will do a consultation with harvesters across our beautiful province and across beyond the borders and to other provinces. So we'll get their opinion and views back from them. So I'm looking forward to that, too. So that's going to be something I want to hear. And also I got a text from PJ and, of course, Francis, working on weekends also as the vice president of that region. That's why I think she gets selected by acclamation in that area. She's well loved. Her and Richard and PJ, Peter Fleming, they're having consultations with all their local leaders, talking about the year's activities. What's the plan for the year? I apologize, my throat's a little. But you look at it, they're planning the plan for a region. I'm talking about the Northwest region. They want to see what the priorities are and what some of the investors of the process of where they should be going. So they're doing a lot of capital investments in that region. They're doing a superb job. Yeah. But clearly at the end of the day, they want to hear directly from their local leaders. So that's something very important to recognize. And I know a lot of our regions. And one of the things I think that I'm very proud of in our Métis government, we instituted a long time ago, and this is where other provincial governments, federal governments can recognize the importance of strategizing. We have a very strong communication system, a consultation system. We don't change things in our constitution until we get all of our locals advised of it a year in advance. So we do a lot of consultations of getting their people's opinions and views, and that's why you'll see very little controversy in our government, because it's well done in the context of including everybody. So again, it's not a perfect world, but damn well pretty close. So which I'm very proud of what we instituted in our government. So I'm looking forward to hearing the opinions, as I said, from our harvesters, and making it very clear to Canada that our harvesters will not be tampered with, and our Section 35 rights will not be tampered with in any capacity. So I'm looking forward to that too. So But again, on other matters, I'd like to say again to our citizens, don't forget, January 15th is the end of harvest for a big game. You still can hunt your rabbit, your prairie chicken, and right here, I just get my heart pumped when I hear geese, because I think, oh man, I wish I'd love to shoot a couple of them down. But I can't. I'll be charged in the United States for
Right.
Section 35 rights here. So I'll be in jail. Anyways, but again, I want to thank our youth out there. There's a lot of opportunity coming for jobs again. They have energy advisor trainings coming up in February. Look into the website, individual youth sponsorship. That's a part that comes out of Minister Janai's portfolio, $350 for any activity that you're joining to help cover the cost, bring down your cost. If you're going to go into different sports or different needs of equipment you might need. That's a starting point of $350, and I'm very proud of that particular program. And also early childhood. I keep on raising this on our show. It's coming up in the spring. You need to have grade 12 and 2 years minimum training to be eligible to become an applicant to be a child care education 2 worker. So, and again, that's a good paying job, permanent jobs. It comes with benefits and packages. So for anybody who wants to pursue that career, apply to us. We're building more and more of these daycare centers, but I need more and more people to be employed in them.
Right.
So people listening out there, grandparents, parents, talking to their children, this is an opportunity to head this career. If you don't have your grade 12, we'll help you. We'll get your grade 12 through a GED, and then we'll put you into a program. So, and we'll invest in you to make sure you get your training and support to get your training, to get your certificate. So this way we can guarantee you a job when you graduate. You'll be working in one of our daycare centers. So with that being said, tell my wife I miss her. I hope she's listening, and to my baby, and to my daughter and my son and all my grandkids out there, and to of course, my cabinet and my staff. I actually am lonesome. You're not supposed to be lonesome on holidays. You're supposed to be celebrating, but I actually get lonesome, and I want to be back in Manitoba. I'm not the type that goes away too damn long. This is a long one for me. This is getting a little too long, and but again, I got to get rest too at the same time. So I'm not getting any younger. I could tell that when I'm in a golf course. I'm not young anymore. I can't knock those balls as far as I used to, but it's I'm trying to get exercise. I'm walking a lot.
Yeah.
So if people want to know what I'm doing, I'm walking a lot and trying to get my energy back up, and still feeling good. And still, I got 4 years. I have to commit myself to changing the life of thousands of people and tens of thousands into the future.
Right.
And land claims is still on my agenda big time this year, and I'm sending some strong messages out now to the Prime Minister's office. I want to know if his promise to fulfill his obligation. He said he'd settle the land claim this term. So if there's, according to the commitments made by all NDP and the Liberals, the election won't happen until 2024. But I want to make sure that this promise he made to the Métis people is kept. So I'm going to keep on pushing that agenda. We are in dialogue with Canada over it. We commissioned a paper to do the cost analysis value, and so we're producing that to Canada very soon. But I want to push it very, very hard that we get to that settlement level, and make sure that the next generation after my generation and generation after my grandkids will make sure there's always going to be resources in their government to take care of our people. So again, that's going to be big on our agenda, and our treaty is to be concluded very soon. And that'll be coming across to the locals listening. We'll be bringing out regional meetings happening throughout the winter, or spring, I'm sorry. It's still winter for us, but through the spring, towards the spring, we'll be starting our consultation on the treaty. It's called a modern-day treaty, which really signifies a new law, new legislation in Canada, where the Métis will have treaty-protected rights as a government, and those rights will be protected very vigorously by law, that any other government coming in the future will have to work very, very hard to ever make changes to that. So we want to lock that in, make it very clear that the Métis rights are not to be tampered with. So again, looking forward to that. As I said, we're 99.9% completed in our negotiations. Now we'll go back to our people again. And if I have to go 2 or 3 times, I will. Keep on educating our people what it means. A lot of people say, does it mean I don't pay taxes anymore? No, it doesn't mean that right now.
Right.
But that's part of the negotiating process. We're talking about taxation. We're talking about health legislation and child care legislation. All those are incorporated into the treaty to make sure that there's going to be a specific commitment by Canada that has to have obligations towards the Métis in our homeland and beyond borders, of course, that people live in different parts of the Red River. And so they live all the way into British Columbia. And our job is to make sure that their rights are protected. So with that being said, thank you, everybody. And I'll talk to you guys next Saturday. I'll be traveling, so driving home. And I'll talk to you guys from the highway somewhere or else from the town I stop.
Okay, well, I won't be here next Saturday. Sharon will be filling in for me, but I just wanted to say an early happy birthday wish to you.
Oh, thank you very, very much. And my wife, too, said, when are you coming home? I want to make sure I plan. You know, I said, don't plan. This is kind of my birthday present. And even though it gets a little, I still work like crazy. Every chance I get it, like all my emails. And
Yeah.
I was talking to Will yesterday on housing and on the PAW. We're looking at the PAW. Should we do the PAW as a full outright? Because we're doing quite a bunch of buildings in the PAW. We already did a couple duplexes. But we're going to build, of course, senior homes and family unit homes and a daycare center there. So we're having that. We're having a cabinet meeting next week, by the way. I forgot to say that. Next weekend, we have a cabinet meeting.
Okay.
Not this weekend, coming the weekend after 26th. We have a cabinet meeting. So the PAW is on the agenda for our elders and citizens of that region listening. We already built 2 duplexes in that land that we received from the municipality. Now we're sitting down with the minister to go through, our minister, and we'll go on to go through what's the next steps, what houses are going to be planned next. This is daycare next that's coming. What facilities are going to be the priorities of building in that particular entire block area. So we'll talk to you guys next Saturday. Take care. And again, Gloria, miss you. Okay, talk to you guys.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.